Hello everyone, welcome back to Happy Teacher Learning Tutorial. So here we were trying to find out the maximum of the marks from each table, right? Okay, so maximum of the marks scored, sum of marks scored by the employee. So what I did, this was our table, right? Employee table. I tried to select the distinct IDs. Since it's an employee table, we only have the column name as ID. So I give it an alias as employee ID. Now it is coming as employee ID, and now also I have segregated it as and I wanted to see it in descending order, so I've given it as order by ID as ascending. Okay, what difference does it make if I'm going to give it as employee ID? Let's see, employee ID. Is there any difference? Yes. Why? Because this is not the actual column in our table, right? This does not exist. Actual column name is ID, so we should always use the actual column name over here. Alright, hope that's clear now. So we always get it with the actual ID which exists. You can give it any name for your analytical purposes. Alright, now the question was to find the maximum of the total marks scored by employees. So first what we did, we have this employee table. Okay, if I only select the employee table, so if I only show you the employee table, so this is the employee table where we have different employee names, IDs, subjects, and marks. So these are all the marks. So first they asked me to find the sum and find the maximum of the sum scored by each employee. Alright, now if you see, the names are very weird, not looking like an employee table, so we have to make it perfect, or we have to format as per the business transformations. We have to at least change the aliases or change the name of these tables. So there are two ways. One was use the alter statement to update the table name. Another one is to just use it for your analytical purposes on the transformation databases. So this is my raw table. I do not want to use this. I'm going to transform it for my further query which I'm going to create for the analytical purposes. So now here what I've used ID. You can see ID. Now we needed the total highest of the total of the marks scored by employee, right? So first we need to sum these. So what I did, I selected the ID as employee ID, select the student name as employee name, and then the sum of marks as total. Okay, so this inner query will sum all these 6 marks for each ID. Alright, I've grouped by ID and student name. Okay, so here if I show you the result of the inner query, so it gives me something like this, right? So we can clearly see there are 4 employees here for the sample, and then these are the total marks scored based on the 6 subjects. Now in the result set, I don't want this. I want to see the maximum marks. So we can see the maximum marks is scored by E, which is 560. So either I can give the number as 560, or I need to write the subquery wherein I need to find the maximum of these. But here in the where clause we cannot pass the aggregated maximum, so we have to write another query there. So right now, to make it simple, not too complicated, I just want to find the highest of these marks. So what will I do? I'll put this as my inner query. Okay, this subset as my inner query, and give it as table name as T1. Alright, which contains this result. Now out of this result, I want to know the employee ID and the employee name from this result set, where the total, this column, the derived column, I would say, which we have derived just now. This is not the existing column, right? So the derived column has the value greater than 550 or 560. So if it is 560, let us run this query to see what output are we getting. So we are getting to see EFG, which is having the highest marks. So if you also want to know the total, you can write it as T1 dot total. So this is going to give you, okay, this is the marks being scored, which is the highest among all. Now if I just give it as any random value, let's say 550, okay, and if I run this, so we get to see, okay, there are two values, 555 and 564. Now we don't want this particular column, so we should remove this column, and then we must try to run this. So here we are. Okay, I have put extra comma over there.